Americans shall suffer hardship as the dollar loses its value. I want to give all the honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, YAHAWASHI, Bahasham, RAWACHAA, QADASH. Double honors to my elders at Great Millstone who rule well, saying honors to the elect. Peace and blessings be to all the sincere men, women, and children that do consist of the 1/3, and to the confusion of faces in the four corners of the earth, Shalom. I'm at the plantation right now. I'm in the company truck, and I had to make this video really quick. Let's get right to it. I don't want to make this too long. Middle class to be crushed as BRICS nations move away from U.S. dollar, says Bitcoin bull Robert Kiyosaki. And Robert Kiyosaki, he's very big on cryptocurrency. He makes a he's a millionaire. Yeah, he's a millionaire, multi-millionaire. Forgive me. Makes a lot of money off of cryptocurrency, and he's been making some great predictions, as of lately, from what I've known. And this is another one that's gonna eventually come to pass, because there really isn't a middle class anymore here in America. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, or if you don't have like at least 10 or 20 grand in your savings, you're really not middle class. Because when the CD-19 hit, when they shut the whole world down, the Miley Cyrus hit, right, that Beetlejuice hit, they said that within 2 weeks to a month, Americans depleted, like over 70-80% of Americans depleted their savings account. And they also went on to say that at least 50% of Americans only had no more than like $2,500 in their savings. So that was gone within the first month and a half of bills and everything, especially when you live in a society where you live above your means, right? So, segue over, same article, which I will leave in the description box, the link. Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki thinks U.S. President Joe Biden is crushing the middle class as U.S. political and macroeconomic policies drive de-dollarization around the world. And that's really what it is. Trying to be the judge of the whole earth, putting sanctions on this country, sanctions on that country, sanctions on this country. And what that does, that cripples the economy. You're not hurting the politicians. You're not hurting the wealthy. You're not hurting the conglomerate. You're hurting the commoners, us, the everyday people that catch the bus to go to work, the everyday people that bag in your groceries, the everyday people that work out in the crop fields, the everyday people that keeps this place running. Like they say, America runs on Duncan, right? And that's what you're doing. So now the other countries are like, to hell with America. We can find a way to create our own IMF. We can find a way to use our own currency, create our own system, but we don't have to be dependent on them, where they can't use sanctions anymore to try to dictate and force us other nations to comply with whatever regulations they have. And you can see it. And this is going to greatly affect people here in America. Don't you know the world hates you? When I say you, I'm talking about the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, proud to be an American. All right, I'm an American by citizenship. Like Paul was a Roman by citizenship, but Paul knew he was an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. Like I know I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, right? And this is your queendom, I should say. Continuing on, BRICS is an economic alliance that stands for the countries of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So it's an acronym. The IMF, International Monetary Fund, BRICS is the same thing. It's just spelled with the names of all of those nations. Kiyosaki predicts that 70% of the world's population will eventually be using a gold-backed Chinese yuan as their main currency via the BRICS alliance, which he thinks will make the US dollar toast. And I agree. Like I saw, I posted a post yesterday. EU nations are looking to go to Kazakhstan to replace their needs of uranium and not to be dependent on Russia. But little do they know, Kazakhstan and Russia are heavy Here it is when it comes to trading amongst one another. Like 40% of most of the trades that Kazakhstan does with Russia exclude oil. All right. So they're very, matter of fact, even Kazakhstan said they held no regulations or nothing about doing deals with Russia, even though they're having sanctions put on them from America. You see, even your allies, America, the EU, the European nations, they're going to other nations to seek aid because you're cutting ties and you're making their relationship with Russia shaky. But guess what? Even those other nations are allies with Russia. Man, how many times can you shoot yourself in the foot till you no longer have any toes? And with that being said, it'll be hard for you to literally stand 10 toes down, pun intended. And this is going to raise the price of food because the dollar is going to lose its value. And everyday people are going to be starving, going to be suffering. I've been hearing about people, it'd be Jakes, running in the stores and running out with clothes. That's the dumbest thing I've seen, running out with TVs. Like I say, honestly, there's nothing in this world worth stealing, whether it's food, water, or clothing. Those are necessities. I can understand that. But I mean, like, to just steal clothes because they're designer clothes, instead of TV, you don't need that. You understand what I mean when I say steal? I'm not saying to go out and do it. But if you're going to steal something, it's because you know you need it. Like water, food, and clothing. Right? That's what people are going to be doing in these last days. Run into these stores or run up in your house, one or the other. Right? So let me close out with this quick precept. Salakia. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 21. This is in the Apocrypha, a part of the 1611 King James Version Bible. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they may think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. The word victuals, pretty much it would be food and water. But also, when you go into that word victuals in the etymology, it means essentials. And what's essential today? Not just food, not just water and clothing, of course. Also, electricity. Also, medication. Also, gasoline. Right? Because this is the world that we have been accustomed to. And all that's going to go up. And you think everything in good case. Oh, yeah. And NBA playoffs coming up. I watch basketball. Javante Davis finna fight next on Ryan Garcia this weekend. You know everybody gonna be going out buying their beer, their drinks, their food, and preparing themselves for those festivities. But that's what you call bread and circuses. As the economy is tanking like it did in ancient Rome, they kept the people distracted with bread and circuses. But guess what? We're the children of the light. We're not the children of the dark. There's no need for us to tell you what time it is, because brethren, we know. Kind of quoting, really butchering it, from 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter. Nonetheless, though, the Lord have care for his elect. So fret not, you worm Jacob. The Lord will carry us with his right hand of righteousness. So with that being said, pray you was edified and fed. Stay in the spirit. Don't fear it. Just endure it. Ask for forgiveness. Pray without ceasing. Stay humble. Remain diligent. Kwama Allah. Shalom.